The battle between national sovereignties and the globalist elites continues as Liz Truss is planning to abolish the World Economic Forum's idea of international tax rates. Welcome back to the show. Well, we have some good news. Finally, some happy news. Positivity. There's fight back on the ground. Because of the push from the grassroots and all the campaigners and everybody else kicking off over this globalism that's going, the ultra-globalism that's going too far, destroying national democracies and sovereignties in the name of international solidarity, but in reality it's basically going to help the globalists, the lobbies and the corporations. Well, Liz Truss is listening. Liz Truss is promising things. This is good. Well, we have to wait for her to become Prime Minister and actually do something, obviously, but this is another pledge that could actually do something about the chaos of these internationalist ideas. Well, we know that the World Economic Forum's Klaus Schwab and these guys who keep coming up with suggestions for national governments to merge all nation states and destroy sovereignties because it's easier to manage the world if you have one country. No, centralized planning systems don't work. But they managed to get people like Joe Biden and the other nutters like Justin Trudeau, Jacinda Ardern, and Rishi Sunak to agree to an idea that is basically an international business rate. Now they called it the international corporation tax rate of 15% minimum. The reason they call it corporation tax is to get to trick the public to get the support because, well, if it's got the word corporation, then people think, oh, are they talking about Amazon and Google? Yeah, they should pay their fair share. No. It's hitting the small and medium-sized businesses. It shouldn't be called corporation tax. It's basically business tax. Now, corporations paying their fair share, that's good. That's a different debate. But the local, off license in a corner shop in the middle of a country, do you really want to treat them the same way? I'm not sure. Each country has its own requirements and culture. German tax rate should be different to the Irish tax rate, for example. Now, the problem here was that Rishi Sunak was in favor. Rishi Sunak agreed to this plan of Joe Biden and everybody else in the G7 that came up and said, well, yeah, let's do it. I'm very enthusiastic. Let's get into it. Can convince Boris Johnson to do it as well. Now, Liz Truss has come out to oppose this idea, and she's basically hinting that we need to stop this nonsense. We need to stop just listening to the elite, and we need to stop destroying our own self-determination as a country. Now, when Joe Biden and G7 leaders agreed to endorse a global minimum corporate tax rate at 15%, as I said, they use the word corporate to trick you. In reality, who's going to be well off? The actual corporations, because corporations have the capacity and the money to afford expensive accountants and lawyers and loopholes, because they can also have direct face-to-face meetings with presidents and prime ministers. They're fine. But little people, little businesses, they're going to be messed up. And this is what people like Liz Truss and Simon Clarke, who's obviously an ally of Liz Truss and has got his experience in the Treasury as well with the government, come out to say one of the whole rationales for Brexit was to have competition between countries on things like tax. So you need to respect that idea. You need to respect why people voted to leave the European Union. They voted to, one of the main reasons, the philosophical reasons, was to reject the European Union in terms of a form of a big government on a continental level, not to make our own national government bigger, but we're going against big government. Big business and big government. Size matters, as I always say. So we voted to get rid of that nonsense. And we also want to oppose even Westminster to get bigger, the Westminster bubble. We have to drain the swamp of the establishment, as Trump would say. And we have to actually listen to the public. It is what it is. And don't listen to people like Starmer or Rishi Sunak to come say, well, we're actually saying this because it's in the interest of the public. Let's basically nationalize everything. Because if we say public ownership, people would think, oh, we're giving the power to the public and people. No, the public ownership is state ownership. They're going to give it to the bureaucrats and governments. You're not going to have any say. There's no accountability. There will be a monopoly, and it's going to be a bit of a mess. Now, the current situation doesn't work either because they're not really about pseudo-monopolies. They're big corporations. The reason they exist is because they go hand in hand with big government. So I'm glad that Liz Truss is going to be opposing this nonsensical idea, but I hope that she actually goes ahead with it. We're not going to stop fighting for freedom on this channel, so subscribe to the channel. I'm Tousi, and we are the media.